Hello there, welcome to another lecture of Python for machine learning. In the computer system, the memory is divided into smaller slots, right? And each slot has a memory address attached to it. So, what I want to say is, in computer system, like suppose if this is your memory, right? If this is your heap memory, this by the way, this is a heap memory, right? This is your heap memory, and this memory is divided into different slots like this, right? And each slot has a memory address attached to it. Say one, this is also a memory address, this is also a memory address, right? Some memory address is attached to it. And whenever we will create a variable or anything in Python, whenever we will create anything in Python, let's say if we create a variable like is equal to, or let's say price is equal to 20, right? Is equal to 20. And if I execute it, what it will do internally is, in one of the memory slots like this, it has stored the value 20, right? And this particular variable price is a reference to this memory location. Let's say if the address of this memory location is some address 0 into and then 1, right? Then this will be a reference to this particular memory location, right? Where this value is stored, correct? So whenever you create any variable, the value or that object is stored in one of the memory slot, and the name of that function or variable is nothing more than a reference to that particular memory address, right? So just to get the memory address, how we can get the memory address of object in Python is we have two functions for it. The first function is id function. This function takes the name of the variable or function or the name of the element for which we want to get the id, right? So in this case we will have the price. Suppose if I want to get to which particular memory address this price points to which particular memory address this particular price points to. If I run it, I'll get a number, right? And this is not the actual memory address. This is the base 10 number of the actual memory address. This is the base 10 number of the actual memory address. Now to get the actual memory address, we have one more function, that is hex function, and we can pass this base 10 number. So what we can do is we can write id of age of price, right? We can get the id of price. So what we are doing is we are taking the value from this first function id equal to id price, and then passing that value to the another function, that is hex. We'll get back to the functions and how to everything about functions in the future upcoming videos. But for now, just think this statement as a statement which will return the memory address of the variable, right? So if I run it, you'll see this is the actual memory address where this 20 is stored, right? And this price variable is a reference to this memory address, right? This price variable is reference to this memory address. Okay. Now, if I assign this price variable to a different variable, let's say uh, total price, right? And this total price is equal to price. If I write this kind of a statement, right? Now what I'm doing is price variable is already pointing toward one of the memory address, that is this one. And now I'm assigning a new variable total price to price, right? So internally this total price is also pointing towards the same memory address, right? Suppose if this is the memory address where 20 is stored, right? And our a variable is pointing towards it, right? And if I write b equal to a, right, then this b variable will also points toward this memory location only, right? As I told you, the variables names are nothing more than a reference to the memory address, right? So a is pointing towards this memory address and b is pointing towards this. B is also a variable and I have assigned its value to a, right? So internally b will also point towards this memory address only, right? Correct. Now just to prove this part, let's so we have total price equal to price, right? And now let's print the memory address of total price and price, right? So print is an internal function which is used to just print the output of a statement, right? So what we'll have is hex. Again, we will get back to all the functions in a great detail in future upcoming videos. But for now, just think print is a function which is used to print the output of a statement, right? So this is the, we have a total price, right? We have total price and we have this price variable. So what we are doing is we are just printing the ID, the memory address where both these variables are pointing to, right? And if you run it, you will see that this both variables are pointing to the same memory address, right? And if I write total price, right? So I'll get the value 20. What internally it is doing is, if I run total price, right? This total price is pointing towards a memory location, right? So it will go to that memory address, get the data from it, and just show it over here, right? So this total price is also pointing towards a memory address. This price is also pointing towards a same memory address, right? And this is known as shared preference in Python, right? This is shared preference in Python. In Python, the variables are not, it's not creating two different objects for the same variables, right? It is just passing the variables by reference. And variables are nothing more than a pointer to a particular memory address, right? Uh, this is it for now, and see you soon in the next video.